I was trying to be a wizard barbarian thief. That doesn't really work very well, by the way.
So Jason wasn't sneaking. His character was just tired and crawling all over the place.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that when Bethesda says you just do whatever you want to, that you can't really do whatever you want to.
Like, oh, we got another guy who's going to be a thief and try to fight the dragon. This will be hilarious.
By the end of the game, your character was just looking for a chiropractor to straighten his back out.
Right? But that's what I did. It's like, oh, I came across a cabin. Okay, let's break in and steal shit. And oh, okay. Well, I don't have the strength to carry it all, so I got to leave some more here. So I was like some sort of bizarre Santa Claus. I'd like take people's shit and then like leave other stuff. It's like, oh, he took our cucumbers and all of our cabbages, but he left these nice boots. Okay.
Man, in the game, I get sucked up into these worlds. That's why I really am growing fond of these kind of games, especially like this is from Bethesda, who, if they did the Fallout series. Now, if somebody was to ask you for a very simple answer of what Skyrim is, you ask them, hey, have you played Fallout? Yeah. Well, okay, this is a medieval version of Fallout. You go around killing dragons. It's a big world. It's just, instead of destruction and buildings and whatnot, you have castles and medieval creatures. But I get sucked up into these kind of worlds. And that includes like getting pissed off and getting my feelings hurt. Like real people have talked to me. There was one part I didn't know it mattered. I'm walking out of a castle somewhere, and I notice I'm getting heavy. Like, oh, that's what happened. Like this king just gave me a reward for going off and doing this mission for him, retrieving like this dragon stone or something and a scroll to prove that dragons do exist. And I brought it back. The king was like, here's this big fucking weapon and rock that you can carry around as a reward. I was weighed down heavy. So when I got in the hallway, and I did in the hallway where I didn't even think anybody was looking, I just dropped my shit. And around the corner, there was a guard looking at me. He's like, hey, what are you doing dropping weapons like that? Don't you know people can trip and fall over? I'm like, and then I had the thing to say, what do you want to say to this guy? Smart ass comment or nice comment? I was nice. I said, I didn't know. I'm sorry. And he's like, right. Just don't let me see you do it again. You understand? I walked away like I was upset. I was like, man, you better be glad I got somewhere to go right now. I'll come back and whoop your fucking ass right here.
The same thing happened to me.
Kite a giant in here, and he will whip your ass.
I mean, and I walked away. My feelings were hurt too. I was like, what? Man, I was going to pick him back up if he had just asked nicely. Why couldn't he just be nice to me?
What kills me is when you're sitting there talking to someone that you intend on talking to, and some other jackass comes by and just starts talking to you louder than the person you're trying to talk to. It's like, who the fuck are you?
Oh, yeah.
Why did you come up and just start talking to me like some insane person?
The thing I like about these games, it really is sort of nearly impossible to do an accurate review of this game because there's so much stuff. But it's still cool to tell you what works about these games and what doesn't based on what Bethesda has done before and just based on a few hours of gameplay here. I really admire Bethesda for letting you create your own characters. I love that. And in this series here, you get to create not only different races of people, but you are able to create different species. I guess in this case, you have elves and ogres and like what we made in our playthrough the other night, we made a cat person, Garfieldius. And,
all hail Garfieldius.
All hail Garfieldius.
I'm Garfieldius. And I like that customization. And it's even more fun here now that you get to create different species of for what you want for your playable character there. And as much as I think, now you hear people talk about how beautiful this world is, and you have to admit it is because there's so much detail. I mean, not including just the backgrounds and the environment that you interact with, but you have animals that come in and out of the picture just feeding. You can kill those, or you can be a cool guy like me and just let them be. And
dude, you need their skins. How are you going to make armor otherwise?
I'm a vegetarian. I'm a cat. There's ways to do it. I don't need them.
Wait, you're a vegetarian cat?
Yes.
You eat tofu mice? What's that?
Yes. Man, you act like that's crazy. It's like I said the other day, it's a fucking cat walking around on two legs with a mohawk. A vegetarian, is that so hard to believe? Come on.
Now you're just pushing believability, Korey.
But I have to say that as beautiful as and detailed as these backgrounds are, things that I've never liked about Bethesda's environments is that they still are very pixelated. And I understand. I mean, there's a lot going on. So, and I think that you have some texturing issues going on that you don't see when you look at pictures for the games, like on the internet or in magazines. And the other thing that really weirds me out, and Kevin kind of brought this up already, but the people that they do in these games, they just creep me the fuck out, man, because they talk to you and their eyes are bugging out. Their eyes are like big, and they're not. You can't tell they're looking at you or looking to the side. And they're tweaking because they're kind of doing these like little movements. And it's like, if I talk to somebody like that, I would. They would put me in rehab.
Maybe they're freaking out because they're talking to a giant fucking cat.
No. When I played on my game, I was the goddamn Denzel of this enchanted world. Right. I made myself the most handsome black man I could make. So,
They have the leather jacket and the 2 pistols as well. I enjoy.
It's like I said the other night. Guards kept asking me, "Who you want to see in this neighborhood, sir? You know somebody here? Can we just pull over and talk to you real quick?"
Yeah, they were going to execute you at the beginning, but then they stopped and they were like, "That is one goddamn good-looking black man. Let him go."
Go along. Well, not until that dragon came from the governor's office. Let that black man go. He's too handsome to be killed. But like we were saying, man, it's so. I mean, we've given you a very good idea from different points of view how you can play this game, different styles, and just how great the game is because it's so huge. It is a world upon itself. I mean, this is like fucking Tron. I think people are getting sucked into this game because it is a living, breathing world inside this, this CD.
It's also funny because I kept talking to everybody here while I was playing through the game, and I was having a conversation with Jason, Nick, and Korey, and I kept saying like, "Oh, did you go do this?" They would say, "No, where's that? What is that?" Or it seems like everybody that I talk to about this game, when they describe what they're doing in the game, it's always something that I totally haven't seen. Almost like no two people are having, outside of the main quest, are having kind of the same game, which is really, just for replayability's sake and just a way of sucking you in. That is the kind of game world that'll really, just grab you and destroy your life entirely.
Well, instead of just going around the table and asking people, are we in full agreement to the different degrees that we played it, that we all think that this is a full price game?
I'm going to go so far and call it better than sex.
I'm with Jason on that. Yeah, definitely better than sex.
I have to agree as well, yeah. I played this game and I thought I was going to hate it because I didn't like Oblivion at all, but yeah, I completely got sucked in, and to me, this is the game of the year. That's what I think so far.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you can just sit there and get lost in it.
Voice.
That's your shouts against the dragon. Woohoo!
At the risk of getting knifed by my fellow reviewers, I think this game has some problems.
Oh, no shit.
As well.
So does every Bethesda game.
Uh-oh.
Well, no, but not just true. Not just the open world. Every open world kind of emergent gameplay game is going to have that kind of jankiness. But I don't like the combat in this game. It feels a lot like the combat did in like Daggerfall, and like I don't feel like there's been a whole hell of a lot of new mechanics added. Like you can definitely you put stuff in each hand, you kind of do different emergent gameplay that way, but still, it's kind of clumsy. I can't count the number of times I was trying to hit a guy and I ended up running right past him or missing him just because of the way that the game's camera and attack mechanics are set up.
Hey, yeah. Jeff, I'll back you up on that, man. I agree.
I agree that the combat system needs work. Range combat is a problem, but I think that this is like 10 games worth of content put together. I think that you can overlook some of these deficiencies over the fact that they've given you so much more content than anybody else is giving you for the same amount of money.
I definitely agree. And don't get me wrong, I like the game, but I don't like it because of the combat. I like it because of the story. Like, I don't feel that the actual, even the act of bringing down and killing a dragon, the first time you do it, it's really great. But as it becomes more routine, all you're doing is you wait until these dragons, you either shoot them in the air or you wait until they land, and then you run up to this dragon and you just, you spam the attack button. If you're using a melee attack, you just spam the attack button. And there was one fight that I was having where I couldn't even tell whether I was hitting the dragon or not because the model had pushed me away, and it was kind of like, I can't tell if I'm even really doing very much damage without just concentrating on this guy's health bar. And there are a few other things, but all in all, it's a very good game. It's definitely a full price. I'm going to have to say it's actually better than Sex because it's one of those games that I couldn't put down and it's just, sucking my life away. It's definitely got problems, but it more than makes up with that with its positive aspects.
Should we talk about our favorite bugs in this game?
Well, I was just going to say, and I'm not going to say anything because if I criticize the game and give it a rating, people are going to say, fuck you didn't play the game. If I praise the game, people are like, you don't really know what you're in for. You didn't play the game. Shut up, Korey. So I'm just going to say, okay. So yeah. And I have to admit, like, if I was to say something and if I was to keep from giving this a better than Sex, Nick, you are right. Bethesda has yet to release a game this big where it doesn't need fixing. And I know these games are huge and I've come to peace with that, but it's just become, they don't even say anything about it. I'm like, yeah, hey, fixes are coming soon. It's going to be broken when you get it. Okay. Well, you just wait, just play the game. If you see some weird, just, give us a call and we'll put that on
this
the
is
list.
nowhere near,
So
this is nowhere near as bad as Fallout New Vegas. I mean, I think that was just atrocious.
That wasn't Bethesda. That was Obsidian.
Okay. Well, say released by Bethesda, right?
Yes, but Obsidian they're like the masters of making garbage games. And Bethesda, I mean, for all the problems that all of the Bethesda open world games have had, there's a trade-off there. It's just like I was talking about the trade-off for combat. Like the emergent world, when you have a world that's got all these systems that are occurring, behind the scenes. Like I was playing just before we started reviewing, and I went into a shop and bought some stuff, and when I came out, there was a dragon skeleton laying on the ground. Like the guards in the town had just gotten done killing a dragon while I was inside buying some shit.
It could have fell from the sky. Somebody told me that. No, I'm being serious. Like somebody said that they were playing and that they had just been talking to somebody and said, "Wow, I wish there was a dragon around here somewhere that I could kill." And like behind them, there was like a big boom, and someone had just taken a dragon out. Like maybe another dragon had like fought this dragon and killed it, and it fell from the sky.
Yeah, there's lots of segments. Like I was walking through the fields, just to get to some dungeon, and I saw like on the road there was like a ghost rider riding by, like as a ghost, and I was like, I started to chase him, but I couldn't do anything to him, and I'm like, I don't know what that quest is for, but I want to do it now. I want to find that and do it.
Like Sleepy Hollow or something?
Yeah, it's totally crazy. Yeah, it was like some warrior, but he was all white and he was glowing, and it was like, like a ghost. And it was just going towards this town on a road. And I was like, I don't know what that is, man, but I want to keep playing this game until I find out.
My favorite bug was, I saw a giant, and it was my first time. I was like, oh, hey, mate, how you doing? And I went up to, I don't know, just to see how to say hi and stuff. Yeah. And he bitch.
Don't do that.
I know, because this guy bitch slapped me so hard that I went up to orbit. I went like thousands of feet up into the air just from one hit. I was like, pew! It was like that Wile E. Coyote cartoon where you just see the silhouette disappearing in the distance.
I don't think that was a glitch. I think that was just one hell of a bitch slap you got.
I was like, I could see my house from here.
Did he show you the kick-ass tokens?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, Korey gave me one of these.
He got the bag. He got the whole bag of kick-ass tokens and took it all out.
Well, you know what? We could go all day talking about glitches, and I'll just end it right here by saying I think my favorite glitch in the game was Jeff sitting next to me telling me to do everything wrong in the game as we were playing. People, if you want to know the real reason why I didn't finish this game is because I felt like I got slapped into submission, man. Jeff tells me that giant that you're talking about, Nick, I met that giant too. But Jason, I was saying, hey, that guy, he looks pissed off. Let's not go talk to him. Let's just keep walking. And Jeff is like, no, I know that guy. That's my man right there. He's cool. Go talk to him. I had a beer with him one time. Go up and say hi. And we go over there to that guy who's shaking his stick and everything at us. And I'll go there and he just pulls back with the back of his hand. He's like, bitch, don't walk up towards me like that, and just knock me the fuck out. Jason saw it. And I was like, yeah, dead. And I just put my hands up to my head and I was like, Daddy, I can't play this game no more.
But there's one they fear. In their tongue, he's Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.